Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love, whatever the new episode number is. I know it took me some time to get back over here and do these reviews. I missed last week because I was in Mexico celebrating my line sister's wedding, and we had a wonderful time. And girl, I wasn't doing any reviews, okay? I flew in and I, I showed out immediately. Like as soon as the plane landed, I was on one. So I wasn't doing any reviews. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I did watch last week's episode. It was interesting. But I just want to say, did I tell you or did I tell you? Did I tell y'all or did I tell y'all that Randall was going to find himself caught up in some kind of love triangle? Now, granted, I don't think Kayla is necessarily a part of that triangle as she once was, but I knew that Randall was going to end up in the situation. Who I didn't expect to end up in any type of back and forth was Mike. So I'm doing this review as I go. And yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what's about to happen because I think it's about to be some shiggity. So let's start out with this. So they get back together and we find out who gets eliminated, which is LJ. I felt like LJ needed to get eliminated, especially after the whole thing with the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, and her saying that they still kind of mess around and they still got feelings for each other. Like, yeah, he needed to go ahead and go home. You know what I'm saying? So we move on. And Samson and Mike are safe this week, but Samson is going to have to work on opening up more. Like his little corny jokes are cute or whatever, but I feel like the ladies, including Brandy, who might not be interested anymore, want a little bit more out of him. Both Brandy and Charisse. Is that her name? So we start the games up, and this game is going to be how well do you know your man? Y'all know how nephew Tyler Perry talks. So they start up this game, and some people are eliminated pretty early. But who ends up standing the test of time in this game is Kayla and Trinika. Trinika when it comes to Randall, and Kayla when it comes to Mike, which is very surprising for Brandy. They kept showing her in different scenes, getting a little irritated. You know, her baby hair was coming up off her edge. She was not feeling it, all right? And even though I don't like when the ladies start to get like catty or irritated with each other, it was funny to watch because last week, Kayla was very concerned about her connection with Mike and if that was a real thing. And if anyone believed really that it was a real thing. But now that they're playing this game, you can kind of see that they do have other conversations with each other outside of that physical attraction. You know, they do talk. Okay, she does know things about him. They have had some more in-depth conversations. So Brandy's getting a little, it's a joking way, but you could tell she's getting a little irritated. And then you have Trinika that knows everything there is to know about Randall, honey. I was about to say, do you know what size drawers he wear? Do you know if he wear Polo, Nike? Boxes, briefs. What else do you know, Trinika? You know his mama name. You know his shoe size. You know his mama middle name. You know his old pet's name. You know, she knew it all, baby. She knew the drink. I knew the drink was gonna trip her up, baby. Not even a drink. Okay, he likes an old fashioned. I could have guessed. No, I couldn't have. I couldn't have guessed that. It doesn't surprise me though that Trinika and Randall have a good connection. I actually think Trinika is Randall's speed, but I feel like Randall might be one of those guys who likes to not bat out of his league, but go for more attraction first than he does with who he really vibes with. So I hope he makes a good decision in this process. Jamila's very pretty. Is it Jamila? I always say people's names wrong, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She's very pretty, but I just don't know if I feel like they're going to be compatible for the long term. And I got where Jamila was coming from last week. Like, you know, don't try to play me around here because we getting down to where you have to narrow down your decision. But it's very important on Ready to Love to not lose your cool when it comes to these gentlemen. It always backfires. And unfortunately, I do believe that Randall is Jamila's only connection. So that is who our focus is on. Also, we got, Swayze and Katie standing the test of time. I did not think I would see it. They're only interested in each other. So it wouldn't surprise me if at the end of this episode, they got sent home, but we're going to see what happens. And yes, let's continue to watch. Honey child. Okay, so Trinika and Randall won the date, and their date. Okay, all right. It went in phases. I had 3 phases. The first phase was annoyance. I am a very deep person. I know I don't really talk about it much on here, but I get very spiritual. I do a lot of different things. But as a date, I don't know if I would want to do that, or I don't know. Like sometimes when people are extra deep, it annoys me. Like when you ask them a question, let's say I say, so what kind of things do you like to do? Like, what are some of your favorite hobbies? Well, I feel like sometimes a lot of times with the world being the way it is, we're easily distracted. So one of the things that I really like to do is make sure that I meditate every morning. And it's not just a habit for me, it's a lifestyle. People who start talking like that and acting as if everything they do, like the world don't understand. I'm so deep with mine. That gets on my nerves. And even though I think Trinika is very sweet, she gives a little bit of that. But I digress. I'm probably just being mean. I'm a little mean. If y'all ain't noticed, I'm probably a little mean. So let's move on to number 2. My second phase of the date was like, okay. Randall is with it. They do a cleansing, they do a meditation, and I like that he was appreciative of it because it was something that she was into. And that's important. Trinika expressed that she needs a little bit more. She likes to feel wanted. She needs a little bit more from Randall. And that's good. That's good. Then there was phase 3. Now, phase 3 is where it got a little different for me. I felt like I was watching something that I wasn't supposed to be watching. I felt like I needed to close my eyes, but it was kind of hot. But on a spiritual tip, I was like, okay, Trinika, listen, I got a friend of a friend, not my friend, but she's very big on like eye contact and being very sensual. And that's always things that I've wanted to get into because I feel like it does make a difference in your romantic connection. But every dude I've ever dated been kind of goofy. So if you look in their eyes too long, they get to laughing. They probably a demon, right? can't hold eye contact. I should have known then. But I don't know. It's just always been something I wanted to do because I do believe like when you're very intent with each other and you're very passionate, like I feel like those two probably, I wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind peeking in on just a little bit of the startup of the interaction. Cause it looks like it would be pretty hot. And she was rubbing his feet. I was like, okay, do I need to leave the room? Well, sorry, I'm not. What y'all about to do? Yeah, so it was an interesting date. But let's continue. It's giving hell to the no, no, hell to the no, hell to the no, Kayla. Hell to the no. It's I don't like it. Now y'all know I like Kayla. Her vibe the last 2 episodes has not been a good one. When she made that comment that Randall and Trinika should not be be the ones being rewarded with the date, which they should because they won. Because they're the least connected in the house. I was like, girl, what you talking about? Now you know that's a lie. Quit lying. But I don't know, her vibe is off, and I understand why it is. Kayla has put herself out there. She's tried to play the game of dating and just having fun with it, and she's put what she wanted out there and her expectations out there. She's tried to play the game the way that it needs to be played, but unfortunately, she is coming in as second choice to 2 men. If I were Kayla, I would probably self-eliminate. Like it does make me frustrated because I do see a lot of myself in her, both in looks and in style in some ways, and she's a little more outgoing than I am, but like I do know what this feels like. I'm aware of what this feels like, and you kind of continue to put yourself out there because how can I explain it? You understand how dating works, and so you have to understand that nobody belongs to you until those things are official. However, what I've always been bad at in the past is just not seeing it for what it is. It's kind of like when people say if he wanted to, he would, or if she wanted to, she would. It's that same energy. Like if you wanted to show me interest, you would. If you wanted to show me you cared, you would. You wouldn't wait. You wouldn't do it as an afterthought. You would do it. And I've been very guilty of just not reading that for what it is and making excuses for people that ultimately will end up breaking my own heart later. You get what I'm saying? So I if I were her, I'd probably self-eliminate. She's a beautiful girl. She's fun. She handles dating the way it's supposed to be handled. Just like when she said, I'm continuing to date other people until somebody makes it official. That is actually a smart move. There are a lot of women who do not operate that way. So, yeah, I just felt frustrated for her being in that kitchen and everybody was just kind of connected and she was just there. And when it was time to leave, I know she said Mike came over to her, but to me, it looked like she went over to Mike. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't care what Mike was talking about, Kayla. Like, he should have told you that whether Brandy was around or not. He should have made that clear. Same for Jamila. I understand Randall pulled her to the side after getting some advice from Mike, which wasn't bad advice. You know, Mike's been married before. And that was good advice that he gave Randall. But sorry, I'm getting jumbled up. Let me talk about them in a minute. I'm going to stay on Mike and Kayla first. So Mike comes over and he's trying to reassure her that he wants to continue the connection with her. If I were Kayla, I would say, you know what? I think I'm going to just bow out. I don't even think he deserved that. In all honesty, I don't think he deserves that because you waited until Brandy left to come over here and tell me that. Like, that's college games. That's the kind of games that dudes used to run at homecoming. At the homecoming game, you know, like bouncing back and forth between women, like, you're not finna do me like that. I don't like to see it. So I hope Kayla sees it for what it is and moves forward. But we have more episode to go. As far as Randall and Jamila, where they stand upon leaving the house, Randall got good information from Mike when Mike was like, one thing that you have to do with your woman early on is make sure that she feels secure, is acknowledge her feelings. Great answer. It shows me that he has been married and might have been married for some time. That was a discussion that we all had. It was a group of us, men and women. And we were just talking about different things that you need and you require. And all these dudes were talking about what they thought women wanted. It was only one married guy in the group. And he said the most important thing that I think you got to do for a woman is you got to listen. And you got to make sure she feel heard. And there, a hush, ladies and gentlemen, fell amongst everyone in the group. Because even I didn't think about it. And I said, see, this is why single people be needing to shut up sometimes. Sometimes, and just let somebody who's actually been through it speak. Not saying that we don't have our place to discuss certain things, but I appreciated him saying that because I was like, it is very important to feel heard and to feel validated. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything I say, but I need to know that you heard me, and vice versa. But it is very important. So that's why Randall had the conversation with Jamila and said that he didn't really do a good job of making her feel secure. But she still doesn't feel it even after this conversation because Randall, baby, stop this, okay? You know you got other connections. You know you like other people. And I don't like the way you're trying to pull it like, well, does it matter if I told them or not? It shouldn't matter. True, Jamila does not need to be worried about the other women. But when you get down to the trip, that is when people have to start honing in on who they want. You can't be focused on Trinika, Kayla, and Jamila. You're being greedy. At the very most, you get two. And I feel like you vibing with Trinika more, but I feel like you like that done-up look that Jamila and Kayla bring. You need to make a choice. Jamila, it is a dating show, though, baby. So you're going to have to find some balance between being cool, like knowing when to kick back and knowing when to say, all right, now, no, don't disrespect me. But you need to find a middle ground. We wish them the best. Okay. Charisse and Samson at the end of the trip. Charisse is still needing a little bit more from Samson. She's still hoping for a little bit more because she's trying to figure out if Samson is just going through the motions with her or if he actually likes her. Brandon and Samson, that's dead. Brandy and Samson, that's dead. Ain't nothing going on there. Mike and Brandy, very strong connection. And is there anybody? Oh, Swayze and Katie, and y'all already know what it is. So Charisse and Samson have this very strange passive-aggressive date where she gives him a facial, and after she gives him the facial, they start to discuss where they stand and how things are going in the process. And Samson is very lighthearted. Charisse continues to tell him that he's not opening up. She can't get in. She can't figure him out. And everything is not all smiles and rainbows and ha ha ha. And Samson is telling her, okay, you're right, but we also have to do a little give and take, a little what I like, a little of what you like. And then that's when the passive aggressiveness started between both of them, honestly. Samson said he doesn't feel the need to continue answering questions he's already answered. And I think in his mind, he feels like he's already opened up to Charisse. I do feel like there's been moments where he's been very open about his childhood and things he's experienced with her. So I guess I'm wondering what Charisse means, if she could make it a little bit more clear what she means when she says open up. Are we talking about saying more about yourself, what you like to do? I think what she's getting at is, what are you looking at from this process? How do you feel about me? What do you think about us moving forward? Am I somebody that you would want to move forward with? What does the future look like for you? I think that's more of what she's talking about when she says open up, but I'm not 100% sure. And right now she's still feeling like it is surface. So I'm not sure where the two of them are headed, because the ending of that date was just very much like walking on eggshells. So I don't really know about that. What do you guys think Charisse means when she says, I need you to open up? Because I could be looking at this the wrong way. And child, Randall feel like he needs some counsel. He needs some counsel because he can't make a decision on what woman he needs to choose. I don't know why he needs counsel on this. The writing is pretty much on the wall. Him and Kayla meet up because I think Kayla is just needing some clarity on where she stands with Randall. Again, I want her to self-eliminate. I'm not at the end of the episode yet. I know that it might happen, but I want her to do it because I don't want to see this. Like, when she asked Randall how was his time at the house, he says that it was stressful for him. I never mind that. When he asked her about her time at the house, she says that it was kind of hard for her. She had to shake a lot of it off because nobody wants to feel rejected or neglected. And I was like, see, that's it right there. That's it right there. Now, will I say that I think that women have a little bit of a harder time with rejection than men? Yes. I do believe that we have a harder time with that. And that's because we don't always necessarily put ourselves out there in the same way, but just because of how the dating and the courting process works, it's just how it works. I didn't make the rules, y'all. That is just how it works. Because of how it goes, we're usually used to being with people who have pursued us, they like us, and then we get rejected. So sometimes, like, it's one thing to get rejected like head on, like, oh, I met you, and I turned you down. Like, you asked for my number and I was like, no. That's one form of rejection. But then being rejected after you spend time with a person and after they pursue you, that rejection is a little bit different because, you already got it. You already got it going. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different than somebody just turning down your phone number or not answering a text message. It's a little bit different. So I understood where Kayla was coming from. I've definitely felt that way before. Rejection is something that you have to learn how to handle appropriately when you're dating. It's really hard. And so just watching her in that moment when she was like, Randall, don't look at me like that. Like, he had the pitiful eyes, like, oh, poor thing. And he said, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I ain't got nothing to tell you. And I was just like, it's harsh, but it's honest. And Kayla, he's telling you how he feels about you. And I understand you like him and you think he's a really nice guy and you have a good time with him, but he's letting you know he ain't got nothing for you. He said it. He was like, I've got nothing. I mean, I still like you, but as far as where we stand, I ain't got nothing. I need to go talk to some counsel. I think and I think that's why you are feeling these feelings that you're feeling so strongly. Like, it's a wrap on these dudes. Perhaps I forgot to floss today due to all this damn stringing along. Perhaps I forgot to floss today because that's what you're giving me, strings. What is this? Okay, what is this? So the fellas meet up and I'm gonna just cut to it. Who ends up in the bottom is Kayla and Trinika. Now, I personally know that they're keeping Katie and Swayze because they've already locked in, and you do need somebody to finish out the show. That's the only reason they're sticking around, because clearly they've already chosen each other. They don't have any other connections. So Katie probably should have been mentioned as somebody the guys are not connected to. But you know how Ready to Love goes. So we're not even going to get worked up about that. So put those, Katie and Swayze, put them on the shelf. All right? I don't think sending Tramika home was the right decision. I think Kayla, if I were her, again, I would have self-eliminated. Mike, you are not interested in this girl. Once again, you sit at this table and bring up another man and what he has going on, just like you brought him up when y'all played pool. Why are you so worried about this man and his other connections when she's asking you how you feel about her? She's not asking you how she feels about Randall or why her strongest connection is with you. She's being open and honest with you and letting you know that you are her strongest connection, which I wouldn't have let you know that. But you decide that you're going to act confused and then turn around and say, oh, well, I just think that you didn't want to be the third woman up. You didn't want to compete when it came to Randall. So you can't answer the question. You can't just tell her what it is, because she said, spare me, tell me what it is. And he going all around the bush, rooting the whole hole in the ground, green grass grew all around. He going all over the place. And it was really aggravating me. And I think it was aggravating me even more that Kayla knows that he was doing it, but she's still going to stick around for it. And it don't even seem like, it's like I want to think that she wants to just be here for the show. But I don't want her to be embarrassed. Like, I think she's a cool girl, and I just don't want her to be on here. I don't know. I just don't think this is going to flip in her favor, which is why she probably should have gone home and they should have just let Tramika stay. But speaking of Tramika, I ain't going to say I thought she was fake, but I felt like all that love and light was a cover up for the sassiness that she does have. She does have it. We saw it in the other eliminations when she thought she was about to get eliminated and she was like, I don't want to hear that, because it was about to be a problem. She did something similar on this elimination. Now, she wished him well, but you could tell that she was fuming, and she was very upset. She didn't want nobody to touch her. She wasn't about to do all that. All that love and light, honey, went out the window once she found out she was going home. So it's not that I don't think she liked that. I do think she is like that for real, but I think she uses it as a mechanism, like, I'm so deep, I'm so soulful, I'm so spiritual, I can reel you in once you attach yourself to my energy. And then you find out that nobody really want, but everybody doesn't draw into that energy the way that you want them to, and then you be pissed off. That's why I say I just go ahead and put mine out there in the beginning, baby. I'm a sassy pants. You like it or not? You effing with it or not? So yeah, Tramika gets sent home. As she goes on her journey, we're going to continue to pray for her and hope that God keeps her healthy and strong and infuses her bones and her muscles together so that that cast can come off of her arm. I already prayed for her. I'm not going to do it again because I don't believe you got to keep going and going. Once the healing is out there, it's Shabo, it's already out there. You don't have to keep doing it. So I am going to just say that I hope that, continues to happen for her. In his name, amen. But she gets sent home. She's not happy about it. Kayla gets to stay. It's a string, though. It is a string. I know she know it's a string. And I'm like, Kayla, you gonna surprise us with something, because I don't want to see you go out like this. But I guess. And Mike, you full of it. You ain't the plug. Quit saying you the plug. You not the plug. And stop, for the love of me. If these men don't stop using the process to string them along, I'm going to scream. The process is down to the wire at this point. Stop that lying. You know who you want. You know who you want. And yes, we should read between the lines. Yes, we should already know what it is. Yes, don't let nobody tell you they don't want you more than once. Listen, I know all of the quotes. But at what point in time are we going to start holding people accountable for just being honest and truthful with how they feel? All right. Stop making me always be the one that's got to be the bad guy. You take the L, be a man, and be the bad guy for once. We're sick of it. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all for the next one. Bye.